Hello and welcome to Balderdash Academy. I'm your headmaster, Bob LeBlanc. Joining me is our faculty professor of English Language Arts, Molly McGill.
It's gonna be a good one.
Professor of STEAM, Nate Green.
Hi, it's gonna be a great one.
Introducing our Professor of Computer Technology, Randy Hunt.
Rumor has it, it's gonna be a good one. Or a great one.
Yes!
And our two-time reigning champion, Professor of Home Ec and Wellness, Marie Stewart Harmon.
Hi, folks. I think this is going to be an excellent one.
Our visiting professor today is Fred Greenhalgh, award-winning, internationally recognized leader in the revival of audio drama. Creator of The Dark Tome, with the third season of which will be dropping on Halloween. The Cleansed, The Mayan Crystal, and of Fae and Fiends. His work includes Lock and Key and the X-Files for Audible, and Expeditionary Force Homefront, which is listed on the New York Times bestsellers list. He's worked on set with David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, Kate Mulgrew, Stephen King, Zachary Quinto, and most importantly, our own Marie Stewart Harmon, and past visiting professor Sean French. If you're interested in the art of audio fiction, Fred runs Final Rune Academy at Final Rune Productions to teach you just that. Links to all of Fred's work and his academy are available in the description. Now, before we continue, I have a confession to make. We had a technical difficulty. Now, this is our 13th taping, and no 13th taping can be complete without something potentially going wrong. We already have scores, and the points are: in last place, we have myself with 0 points. Next, we have Randy with 17, Marie with 28, Molly with 41, and Nate is in the lead, and no surprise to anybody, with 75 points. Now, Fred has agreed to be the scorekeeper tonight, while our faculty members compete for the coveted reigning champion banner. They will do their best in a showdown of competitive comedy. At the end of each, Fred will assign points to the competitor he feels is most worthy. He is not looking for the correct answer, much like me reading that line. He's looking for the best answer. The points are arbitrary and can be given to anyone for any reason. At the end of the show, the faculty member with the highest point total will be named the reigning champion. Defending her title against Nate is two-time reigning champion Marie Stewart Harmon.
That's me!
It is now time for our second first pop quiz of the night. Our first pop quiz is from Professor Molly McGill of English Language Arts. Molly, what word do you have for us tonight?
Well, faculty, nice to see you again, and again, and again. As you know, we kick this show off, or re-record it, with a word of the day. I'm gonna give them a word of the day. They're gonna give you an answer. It might not be great, but it might be mind-blowing. And at the end of it, you're gonna tell me which one you like the best and give points dependent on that. Okay, faculty, let's see if you've been studying. Today's word of the day is bugloss.
Bugloss?
No Googling. Okay. Go ahead, Nate.
I can hear myself now. So bugloss is a new natural form of lip gloss. You use it like lip gloss. It goes on your lips. It makes them glossy, and it's made out of bugs.
Yeah. Well, science at its best. Thanks, Nate.
You're welcome.
Randy.
Well, Bugloss is actually a new methodology of getting rid of bugs. We used to have those bug lights, and they would zap the bugs, and that's not nice. So they've come up with a better way to do it, and it's actually a newer word. It's a brand. It's not even it's not a dictionary word. It's a brand. So Bugloss is Bugloss Inc.
Excellent. Can't wait to look at their website. Marie, what do you have?
Bugloss is actually a brand new. You've seen people getting pedicures, and there's a little fish cleaning their feet. Bugloss is a new form of flossing. So instead of you having to do any work with a piece of string yourself, you just open wide, and the buggos just get on in there and get all the things in your mouth that you want out. It is bug floss.
All right, that's hygienic. And Bob.
Yes.
So, Bugloss, or as it was originally pronounced, Bugloss, was coined in the 1940s, particularly around the military camps and the training grounds for U.S. soldiers. In the morning, when the bugler would go to play, if he could not find his bugle because it was stolen by a service member, he suffered from bugloss.
That is just
really sad.
Not nice phasing sometimes, these groups. Okay, Fred, let's recap on these wonderful, wonderful answers. Wonderful. We have Nate's lip gloss from a bug. We have Randy's humane bug removal. We have Marie's buggo floss, and we have Bob's bugle pranks. What do you think, Fred? Who deserves the points in this?
I think 13 all around in favor of our missing dimensional world. Which is utterly unhelpful.
No. I like it because I get points. I'm in. Excellent job.
Yeah, I like it too.
Excellent. Excellent job, Fred. Faculty just shows that you have not been studying again.
Damn it.
My disappointment in you is mediocre.
Okay, Mom.
So, Bugloss actually is something that I think would be found in immersive audio entertainment, perhaps a character or villain or scary creature on some sort of sci-fi world, horror, X-Files perhaps. It is a variety of coarse, hairy plant. Think Seymour. Yeah, think Seymour, but bigger.
All right.
All
right,
He
Audrey
fell
too.
into a pile of bugloss.
Yes. Ooh,
Yeah.
Get me out of there.
Before we move to the next game, I will spin an opening icebreaker question for Fred from the Balderdash randomizer. The spin will generate a random question that Fred will try to answer in a minute or less. These questions can be anything from work and play to general trivia. The icebreaker question: Moxie, force of character or soft drink?
That is so funny because there is a whole Moxie scene in Dark Tome Season 3, including, I think, one of my favorite exchanges in the entire show that is not horror, is about whoopie pies and whether or not they are pies or cake. But I digress. I would consider a rite of passage, but not necessarily something that bears up for repeat performance.
It's a great answer. I disagree because I love it. I will throw myself on that Moxie grenade and have all of yours because that's the type of
You can have all mine. I find it shocking, though, with all the hipster beer in Maine, that no one has made a Moxie Porter. You can go...
Ooh.
Yeah, I was saying the same exact thing just the other day.
And Alan
I would be all over that.
Stout. What is going on with these people? Where's their imagination?
Yeah.
There's some cocktails, though.
That is true. Our first game is called 4 Questions. Fred studied film in New Orleans, and so in honor of our visiting professor, we have 4 questions about one of my favorite cities, the Big Easy. Again, whenever the faculty member gives the best, not the correct, but the best answer, Fred will award points. The first question: New Orleans is famous for their jazz funerals. What is notable about their burials? Marie, what do you have?
Well, they do not have the problem of bugloss there. All of these funerals are kicked off with a bugle it's like the gathering. The funeral is beginning. The bugle announces. You can hear it throughout Nolans, and the bugle starts. You know the funeral is commencing.
All right, the bugle blows, so your party doesn't have to. Nate, what's your answer?
Well, the big thing with this is that you don't necessarily have to be dead to be buried in the funeral. I mean, it starts with one dead person, but if you don't participate when they're marching through, they'll just throw another person on there, and they're not going to make sure that you're dead, which of course is why they're known for vampires, because then those live people that are buried on top of the dead people start crawling their way out, and it's just mass hysteria.
All right, interview with a pig pile. Molly, what's your answer?
Well, they're quite inspired by Death at Sea, where you would put your loved one, compatriot, pirate buddy out on the water, just like that, gently. And they would float off, you light it on fire, and, death at sea, burial. So what they do is every night, they collect all the wounded soldiers that are kicking around, that people didn't finish their drinks. They pour it into this one specific spot. It creates a river of wounded soldiers, where that is where the funeral ends. And then they set the burial casket afloat on the sea of wounded soldiers, set it alight, and sign it off.
All right, Dead Sea crowd surfing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Randy, what's your answer?
Oh boy. Is it the king cake, right? Is that what the New Orleans
King cake, yeah.
And there's like the little baby Jesus, and whoever gets that has good luck or something. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but the tradition is that they have one of those little baby Jesus. They throw that in the hole, and then they put the dirt on. So, that's just how.
All right, king cake baby burial. So, Fred, we have Marie with kicked off with a bugle. We have Nate with you don't have to be dead. We have Molly with Dead Sea crowd surfing, and we have Randy with king cake baby burial. The answer is they are buried above ground. So you can't dig because of the water line. So you can't dig.
So pedestrian
because of the
compared
water
to
line.
y'all.
Yeah. So Fred, how would you like to score?
I gotta give Marie 9 points for that sort of almost vaguely like the second line, though the trumpet not a bugle, and I kind of like the dead baby jokes, so I'll give you 18 points to Randy for that. I'm just going wild. How about I do think for Molly we've had a pirate sub theme going all night, so I think we're gonna give you around 30 points. For that. And, I kind of feel bad leaving you behind, Nate, so I'll give you 3.
Okay.
So
Well
now-
deserved.
Very, very, very social.
Thank you.
Question number 2. New Orleans is named after what? New Orleans is named after what, Nate?
Old Orleans. And that was the actual name. It wasn't just Orleans. It was actually called Old Orleans. And so in order to make that make sense, they had to create a New Orleans. It wasn't going to be there. But they we have to make sense of the old, so let's make it a new thing. All
right. New Orleans 2, Electric Bayou. Molly, what's your answer?
It was actually named after a haunted spot of was then territory. It was the Orleans, and everybody would, if it was a teenage rite of passage to be bet to stay overnight there, and it was terrifying. But everybody did it, and if you didn't do it, you're basically kicked out of the territory. So what they did was they called the entire territory New Orleans to scare off any sissies and scaredy cats that would move into town.
All right. It was for frightening. Randy, what's your answer?
Well, actually, it's New Orleans, but, they call it Nolans, which actually it came from North Lens, which is a special lens that sailors use as a nautical term to help find that North Star. And, the guy that invented that was from that region. So they ran with it.
All right. Okay. So the North Lens, Vikings had the Sunstone, New Orleans had the North Lens. Marie, what's your answer?
The old name, the original name for New Orleans was called Orlandia, but that was like very primitive, and it was actually the first attempt at what they weren't called at the time hipsters. By calling it New Orleans, they rebranded it, and it was suddenly hip and cool, and like you can come in and public drink, and like so where the hipsters wanted to go. So they ditched the old like folk like name of Orlandia and went with New Orleans.
So contemporary.
Orlandia?
They had a TV show with Fred Armisen about Orlandia.
Yeah, it was
Orlandia.
All right. So Marie with the original Portland. So we have Nate with Old Orleans. We have Molly, Haunted Spot of the territory of Orleans to scare others. We have Randy with the North Lens, and we have Marie with the French Louisiana
Orlandia.
hipster paradise. The correct answer is New Orleans was named after the Duke of Orleans. So, Fred, how would you like to score?
You know, that was. I was hoping someone was going to go for Orleans and make some sort of like Tower of Pisa joke, and that just didn't happen. I would give Randy 16 points for the originality.
All right. Welcome to our disappointment. So, the next question, we call it a sub. In Boston, it can be known as a hoagie. What is a sub called in New Orleans? Molly?
A cat. It's called a cat.
Cat.
Because there are so many stray cats around that they just were like, it's about yay size, because they're big and they're plump subs, and they often have things hanging out the end. So people would just call them a cat. What's up? You want to go get a cat? I'll go get a cat. Let's get a cat. It's cat.
All right, cat food. Randy, what's your answer?
It's actually they call it a bus. Because we were talking a few minutes ago about the burials happening above ground. So instead of a sub, they flip that around and it's a bus. So below ground, above ground, sub bus.
That's great. You can get it fresh at Busway. Marie, what do you have?
It's called a marine. They were like everywhere else has subs. We're gonna have marines.
Okay.
Period.
That works. Semper Phil. And Nate, what do you have?
Bourbon sponge. It's really just filler so that way they can drink more bourbon.
All right.
And that is why Nate is winning.
We have Molly with cat. We have Randy with bus. We have Marie with marine. And we have Nate with the bourbon sponge. My new word for a sandwich. The correct answer is po' boy. Fred, how would you like to score?
Sorry, bourbon sponge gets 100 points.
Holy hot potatoes!
It's all of New Orleans in one word. How many drinks? Let's get a bourbon sponge.
Let's get a bourbon sponge. Join us for more recipes on Balderdash Academy. New Orleans is known as the birthplace of jazz. It is also considered the birthplace of what? Randy?
Oh, my goodness. It is the birthplace of the oak cask that is used for bourbon. That's where it actually first started. In the United States.
All right. Yeah. So the birthplace of newly charred barrels. Marie, what do you have?
Alcohol poisoning. That's where the first documented cases of alcohol poisoning are, and it was a treacherous time for them to figure out how to handle that.
All right. The state bird of Mardi Gras. Nate, What's your answer?
Elton John. He was born there. He's not technically American because he was born on a British military base that's there, hidden away in the bayou. It's very small.
Oh, man.
All right.
He's warmed
All
up.
right,
Watch out.
Goodbye, Bourbon Street. Molly, what do you have?
I don't. Beanie Babies. It is the birthplace of Beanie Babies because there's a whole heritage of crafters there. And everybody loves little Beanie Babies, carry around with them to keep them company, especially when they get lost from the group that they're with. And this little Beanie Baby would keep them company. And then they blew up.
Mm-hmm.
We have Randy with oak cask for bourbon. We have Marie with alcohol poisoning. We have Nate with Elton John. We have Molly with Beanie Babies. The answer was poker.
Oh.
New Orleans is considered the birthplace of poker by some.
Hardly knew her.
So, Fred, how would you like to score?
I'm going to give 25 to Molly for pure feistiness of response, if nothing else.
Yes! Pays off.
All right, so in this special pickup, our current points adjusted are myself with 13 points, Marie with 50, Randy with 64, Molly with 109 and in the lead, Nate with 188 points.
What the Nate?
He's all warmed up. We're
For complete episodes and more, visit us at balderdashacademy.com.
This is a mouthful. Jeez, krill, that's what she said. In a world where movie theaters are forbidden territory and social distancing forces people into moments of solitude, one man brings entertainment and escape to the masses using his learned superpowers with audio to manipulate your imagination. Coming soon. Catch it on the next episode of Balderdash Academy.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. You can find us on your favorite podcast service as Balderdash Academy. Go Dashers!